Okay. Like always in Technomage, we are thrown back a bit. Because we need to find the right spot. I can defeat this boss quite easily. Even though I'm doing a mage build. Or whatever. I already said that.
That's done it.
We had it already yesterday, so I skip it. Yesterday? Day before. Oh. Interesting. Why can't I jump? Every other button works. Let's take a look. Maybe I can't jump here in this area. Of course. It is reacting to the button in the configuration and... Oh well, let's take a look whether there's something. Discord. There is, but nothing too important. So, and we should think about... Oh, that's a good idea of... Where's the quick save button? Is there a quick save button? Okay, if there is, they don't tell me about it. Nice, thank you. I want a 5. Ah! A 5 is more healing power. Guess we have to live without quick save. Yeah. It's open. So open. We had that already.
What was that noise? It seems so out of place here.
So I skip through everything we have. Still can't jump. Can do everything but jump. Why can't I jump here? Oh. Here the button doesn't work, except here it works. What is this shit? Why doesn't the jump button work? Yeah, it works, but not really. Ah, okay. I needed to press menu one time. Alt. And suddenly the jump button was working. Oh, what? Okay, forget about that. Let's defeat the spider boss once again. boss. Impressive. It was hard. Almost as hard as...
That's done
No,
it.
I don't want any penis jokes just now. That would be immature. This game. It's really quite strange that it doesn't have any quick save button.
What was that noise? It seems so out of...
Let's save here so that we don't have to defeat that spider boss ever again. I defeated him.
Hi, I saw you coming a long way off. I'm Mirka, a fairy. You're obviously not a fairy, because Duna, our wise druidess who lives in the old stone ruins of Stonehenge, told us all fairies have wings. So you can't be a fairy, right? Well, if you'd like to meet more fairies, you'd best go to the Great Meadow in the south. All the young fairies are hiding from the bridge troll there at the moment. All except me, that is. But I'm a bit different from the others, as you can see.
Yeah. You're super different. You're the nicest fairy I've ever met. Given that I haven't met a lot of fairies.
There's something wrong with the ground here.
Nedos, hey there. And how's it going? Are you having a good weekend? Sample sizes, yeah. These two. I only had half a bottle of wine currently, so I'm totally able to talk about sample sizes. Did you win a lot of Fortnite games today? Is that why you want to talk about sample sizes? Ooh, I have a level up. Or maybe you just wanna troll me. It's always strange. I mean, I believe that there are a lot of glitches in there and whatnot, but every time I hear someone losing at a match, in any game, in any FPS game, whatever, it's always because the others are cheaters. And I mean, glitches are basically cheaters, I guess. So it definitely sounds strange when someone says that. On the other hand, it sounds realistic. I mean, it's Sunday and a lot of the casual idiots are in these games, I guess, and I mean, I guess that, I mean, you wanted to talk about sample sizes. I think Sunday, especially, maybe even Saturday a bit, is the day where you would see more glitches than in the week. It's just an assumption. I can't say whether that's really true, but it feels like there are a lot of casual and maybe then even cheaters in there at these days than there are at, let's say, Thursday. Mainly because there are a lot of players here which just want to have fun and don't care. And are they known spots? I mean, I guess there are a few discussions on Reddit or wherever they are. Wherever the communities of Fortnite are. And I guess you're not the first one to spot these spots. So are these known spots? Because I mean, would be interesting whether the developers cared enough about that shit, because that's mainly the stuff you should fix as a developer, totally, because something like this always breaks your game a lot. I mean, it mainly removes the fun from the game, which is the least you want to have. Being a game developer, I mean, more or less. Not that I'm an important game developer, I'm a totally unknown and nobody cares game developer, but I am a game developer, and I guess that's something, if you care about your players, you totally need to make it a priority to fix this shit. And you said a lot of these bugs are fixed, so I guess that's because they actually do care a bit. Yeah, I mean, it is about this, but I don't know much about the glitch. I don't know anything about the glitch. So I don't know if you can really fix the glitch itself. Maybe it is some level design based shit. So you have to fix the spots. Yeah, I mean, if they are known, or these, yeah, if these spots, I mean, mainly I can understand that obviously as the developer you don't find all of these spots. So you really have to report it there, because I mean, it's not like they are magicians or anything, which, I mean, depending on how you create the game, I guess you could even create some tests or whatever, with which you can test levels for the availability of these spots. I mean, would take some. I mean, I think that's actually possible because I mean these glitches, I guess, follow a rule in some way. I mean that's mainly because I mean you can detect them as a human, so it should be possible if you put in processing power to detect them with an algorithm. So it's collision glitches, yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's basically things. I guess if I knew that, I would say you have to or you could test for that. So let's say after some level designer created the level, just
There's something wrong with
that
the
that they just test the level with some algorithm or whatever. For these spots, I mean, even if it takes an hour to test one of the levels, which would be a lot, I think it doesn't take as long. It would be worth it. Mainly, maybe they don't think about that in this way, I don't know. Because, I mean, game developers which develop something like this, I mean, we are talking about Epic here. And Epic aren't, essentially, they aren't idiots. And they have quality assurance, I mean, especially Epic. I mean, if it would be EA, I would say maybe they are idiots, but Epic's definitely, Epic, I mean, definitely knows what they are doing, somehow.
Hello, brave boy. My name is Ella.
But that's the first thing I would think about when you talk about something like that.
I can make you fairy gold. Have the other fairies told you about the jester who lives here in the forest? He's a really witty fellow, always ready for a joke. But not everyone can talk to him. You have to summon him first. But he likes to hide behind golden lights. And he's something special too, because he knows all about herbs.
If you would have an automatic test after creating the level, some workflow where they finish the level and then create such, or then process the level through some testing scenarios, I would say they would be able to detect a lot more before they even appear like that. So let's say, I mean, if you would have a good test, I would say that you initially would just see, I mean, there's no 100% chance to detect all of them, because, I mean, to create such a test, you even have to think about what could happen. But 100 sounds like a lot. And it's always better to detect it before they appear.
You know very well I can make fairy gold for you, provided you have a bee sting.
Okay.
Yes, I'm one of Telly's friends, and boy, is Duna mad at us. I've searched for the seal everywhere, but I can't find it. Mine must be on one of the little islands. I'm sure of it. Couldn't you find it and take it to Duna for me? I daren't go near her.
Hello. Who are you then? I'm Tilly, and I'm a rather sad fairy at the moment because Duna, our druid who lives in Stonehenge, is very mad at me and my friends Fenthea and Elabeth. Duna told us to get 3 seals shaped like animals from Jillen for her. But on the way back, we played hide-and-seek and quite forgot about the seals. Well, we lost all 3 in the forest. Anyway, mine looked like a little bird and must be somewhere near to Jackal the bridge troll. But I'm afraid to go and look for it because we're not allowed to go near Jackal since he became so aggressive. So what are we 3 to do? Duna won't talk to us until she has all 3 seals back again. Do you think you could find them for us?
Perhaps I could. Yeah, but that means, like I said, automatic tests. You can test that shit. Just use your engine and test your level before releasing it. Moment, ich höre dich gerade nicht. Okay. But yeah, automatic tests and something like this is something you learn actually in doing development, and even then you have to think about it. Because a level is just a collection about data. You can test such shit. Yeah, basically this is experience and you have to think about it. It's not like you can just magically throw code at it and it works or something like this. But, I mean, when it's something collision based, then you basically need to say, with your engine grind through the whole level and do some collision detection based tests. I mean, you have to understand the glitch first, but I mean, I guess the glitch basically always works somehow like the same. I mean, it doesn't. When it's always a collision-based test, so you have to have some scenario. And you, like I said, I mean, you won't detect. I guess you won't detect all of them, but you should be able to really reduce the number of spots to a minimum, so that you say after a new level has been released, maybe you still find 2 or 3 spots when the level is fresh, and I mean that's something you can fix manually then. But I mean, we are always talking about money and such. I mean, thinking about something, how to test against something like this, always. I mean, it takes time to develop it, and time is money in a business, and Epic is a business after all. So you never forget about that they are still a company. Doesn't matter how creative or how good they are, they still want to make money, and every time they invest takes money, and yeah, this is something.
Stop! Not a step further.
You have to think about.
My name is Bromo, the Tree Guardian, and I won't let you go a step further. Not unless you're gonna pass on you. It's only for your own protection, believe me. The forest behind me is dangerous, and no one is supposed to enter. The goblins and the lack of fresh water in the forest have been sorely trying for us tree guardians in recent times, but I promised Cinnifer, the mayoress, that I would stand by my post whatever happened. So if you really want to enter this area of the forest, you need to speak with Cinnifer first.
Okay.
You'll...
So yeah, I mean... It is basically if you can think about how this thing happens and how you can simulate that glitch somehow. And if you can do that, then you basically have won, because the rest is just a question of processing power, and we're talking about epics here. Processing power today is just not a problem anymore. But yeah, that's actually my expertise, something like that, thinking about how to solve such things. So yeah, I'd say it's possible. The question is whether it's worth or whether it's just cheaper to release it in a good state. I mean, I guess Fortnite isn't shit just because those things exist, and if you fix them later, maybe it is somehow it makes more sense in a business. I don't know how much it fucks off people to see these glitches. I mean, I guess it has potential to fuck off people. But yeah, you can... it's an interesting thing about it. Whether it makes sense to fix it beforehand. Yeah, this wasn't here now. Early access? Does Epic do things like early access?
You're Melvin, aren't you? News gets around here in the Fairy Kingdom like wildfire, you know. I also know you're on a long and important journey. And although you may not have planned it, I urge you to visit our village, Tsajellan. But you won't get in there as you are now. Tsajellan is only for fairies, and so is very small. Before you can get in, you must take a shrinking potion, which I will make for you, provided you can get me the following ingredients. The 3 seals of the forest and silverweed. One of the seals should be somewhere close to the hollows from which you came to us. 3 young and very silly fairies lost the seals playing around in the forest, but they may be able to give you a few hints on where they were if you ask them. I can also give you this radar. It is a special mystical tool which will show you where things and enemies are for a certain time, sometimes even before you can see them. Use the radar when you're looking for something. Maybe it's a new way of doing things.
But
don't forget, you must select
I guess for games like this it even makes sense because the game grows with its players here.
Now we have 2 seals, but I'm sure you won't have any problem.
I would have just said, I mean, before early access really was a thing to cover up for the huge production costs game just brings with it. And I would say, I mean, Epic surely isn't someone who has to care about production costs that much. But maybe they set up. I mean, it's cheaper, whatever, and since we have to communicate with the community in any way, why not make it early access in the first place? I could imagine that. Would even make sense, like I said to me. Oh, damn it, I need to go to the restrooms. So I'll be back in 2 minutes, even though it's quite early, so I only stream for half an hour. Wow. I should be ashamed of myself to go to the restrooms now. No stream preparation. Okay. Let's drink some more. Oh, damn. Ah, good Sunday. A few bottles of wine. Always nice. I hope all one of you having a good Sunday. Maybe I should play a shooter here and there. But nah, it's not about the viewers. I mean, it is about the viewers who are here, but it's not about getting viewers who not even want to be here, who are just here because I'm playing some random game they like.
So you're the brilliant hero who's been fighting all the goblins in the forest so tirelessly. Not bad. Basically, I need your help.
Oh, how about...
Because the goblins stole all my beehives from their pillars over there recently. I found one of them in a clearing nearby, but I'm still missing two, which isn't good for us, because it's the bees who prevent dangers from reaching our village, Sardillon. Can you get my missing beehives back?
Yeah.
Another one.
Yeah, we had that 2 days ago too, so I skipped it. Usually I don't skip dialogues, but if you have listened to them already and just died due to stupidness. Okay, from here I got the bee sting from here. I still need the mantis. But I have the bee sting soon. Really, I like obscure games. I mean, I played for the 3rd time now. Still one of the better games. I mean, not that it is flawless, of course not. Still, for back then, I mean, it was released 2000 by a German game developer. It's quite good.
That's all the bee baskets back in play. There must be a way of getting in.
Oh, what a hero. You brought all my beehives back. I've been enabled.
So now I have a bee sting and 2 symbols. Which means I probably... Yeah, more monsters, please.
It seems to be a mantis's nest. The cocoons look so silky, and they're well guarded. I'll have to fight my way through. Oh, so that's a silk thread from a mantis cocoon. There's something wrong with the ground.
Ah.
Mel, you've brought me back all the seals of the forest, but I still need silverweed to make the shrinking potion you need to get into Tsajellan. Make sure you get me. You still haven't found any silverweed? Take a closer look and look out.
Okay, I need to get... Yeah, to the ferries. I got the ferry powder and then I probably get some silverweed or whatever from the dude which is appearing. By the way, we could save him. No, can't save him. Communication. Sadly, I don't have a... No, I have a slight clue where it was. That... Slightly wrong. Damn. Damn invisible walls.
You know very well I can make fairy gold for you, provided you have... Here's your fairy gold. If you ever need any more, just ask.
What beautiful golden lights!
So, you finally found me! You took your time, didn't you? At last! Another jester I can talk to! I was getting a bit bored!
Sorry, I'm not a jester. I don't even really know what a jester is. I'm a dreamer. And a steamer. What am I doing
You're not a jester like me? Shame! No dancing in the morning light? No merry pranks together? Well, there's an old jester saying which goes, "Why do you gather from the field? I hope the answer is to you revealed." So, what's my name? Or Dorita? Is my name Doritos? That's right! Well done! You know my name! So, take this silverweed. You've earned it! And you've passed Duna's test as well! As you're not a real jester, and you don't know any others, I suppose you can leave me in peace and get back to being a hero!
Yeah.
You have the silverweed, too. That means you've passed your first test and are now welcomed at Sajellan. Here's your shrinking potion, but you can only use it if you stand on one of the crescent stones here in the forest. You must only use it there, otherwise you'll be lost, a dwarf in the forest. An ant would be bigger than you.
Good question. I have the feeling this replenished mana, or was it only after the patch? Somehow I don't know, I don't have the feeling that the mana regeneration works here. Should work, but does it work? Oh yeah, it works. It's just super slow. Where the fuck am I? I just want to get back to the... Ah, yeah. Okay.
Welcome to Zarjellan.
You look nice. I envy the women where you come from. We don't get to see many men, and not many of them are as smart as you. Why don't you spend some time with us? But you must visit Cinnabar, our mayoress. I bet she'd be more than happy to meet you.
Hi! You're new here, aren't you? Have you heard we're having our big fairy beetle races again this afternoon? Everyone here is really excited. The competitors are already tuning their racing beetles up like world champions. Have you ever seen a racing beetle? No? Then you've got to join our race. We'll find you a beetle. Go on, go over to Cinnabar and get your entry permit. I'll wait for you here.
My name is Aruna. I am the harpist, and I made all the harps here in the fairy forest, including the one we usually use to soothe the bridge troll. But we can't do that now, I'm sorry to say, and all because those mischievous goblins have stolen the harp strings. I can't do anything to help at the moment, because like an idiot I've forgotten where I put my knife, without which I can't make any strings. I must have forgotten it somewhere in the village. And to crown it all, Gwen, my assistant, has disappeared since she went off into the forest with her tuning fork to tune some harps. If I only had a tuning fork and my knife, I could start dealing with things. Gwen, my assistant, has been captured by the goblins. Now I'm really worried. There are even rumors going around that the goblins have built a giant fort to the east of the meadow. What if they've taken Gwen there?
Then I have to defeat them. As easy as that.
Have you heard of our great city of Jellin? It's the nicest place in the whole world, honestly. But to reach Jellin, you must cross the great river, which, unfortunately, you cannot do at present. Jackal, the troll who guards the bridge, won't let anyone past, which means we don't get any visitors at the moment. That's a shame. You would have really liked it. But Cinnabar, our mayoress, is dealing with the problem.
Upside or something like that. I don't know. And I don't care.
Hello, Melvin. My name is Marina, and I'm responsible for growing and caring for the young saplings in the forest. But as you may have heard and noticed, all the water in the forest has just turned into a boggy, slimy, and above all, toxic soup. Now I haven't got anything to water my saplings with, and without water, they'll soon perish. I know that Erwin, the Mistress of Winter, still has some clear water in her pool. Please, take this bucket and ask her if she can let me have a bucket full. The faster you get back here, the more chance my saplings have of surviving.
Sure. Oh, I have a bucket now. Hey.
Welcome, Melvin. My name is Cinnabar, the mayoress of Jellin. I've heard you're very interested in our life and history and would even like to help us with some of our present troubles. That's very nice of you, and in return, my extensive library is always at your disposal. I've got a very good book about Jackal, our bridge troll, for example. He usually protects us against unwanted visitors, but at the moment, he seems to have gone mad and won't let anyone through. But perhaps we could start with the most urgent matters first. Marina looks after our plants here in the village. She needs fresh, clean water urgently to save her saplings from dying. Please help her, but don't forget to come back here afterwards so we can continue our conversation.
So I have to help you before we get into some real interesting stuff, or I mean, sure, why not? all.
You look
Oh.
nice. I envy the women where you come
Please
from.
tell me the same shit again.
So, finally someone has managed to gather the 3 seals, which those frivolous young women lost in the forest, and bring them back to Duna. Hopefully that will cheer her up a bit. She's been very quiet since the river poisoner returned.
The river poisoner. I wish there would be more usage for
Have you heard that some nomads have set up camp close to our village? They are supposed to be so nervous that they haven't left their tents for days. What scare babies? Well, they can't just fly away from the goblins like we can.
Whoa, what's the... Ah, that's the knife, isn't it? Great. Best one. What? Okay, so I can at least provide of the knife. Actually, hers. Interesting thing to say because I don't know where she is.
Could you hurry, please? My saplings need...
Okay.
Great! You found my knife! Now I can get to work and make some new harp strings. But I still need my tuning fork to tune the harp properly so it works on Jakul.
Why can't it be ever easy? So the other city was... where exactly? What? I think you're not right in your head.
Hello, little stranger. I suppose you're Mel, the young man all the fairies are talking about. My name is Erwin, the mistress of winter. I make sure the winters in the fairy forest are nice ones, and I also look after the plants around here. Unfortunately, that's rather difficult at present, because the forest is threatened by a dark power. We are afraid the river poisoner, a ghastly creature from our mythology, has returned to destroy our forest by poisoning all the waters and rivers. In the long term, this will threaten all the life in the forest, and I can't do much about it, as I have to use magic to shield my pool, which is the last clear water from the earth. But my magic only works if I'm nearby, so I can't leave. But I'd be happy to give you a bucket of fresh water from Marina, and take this blue ice flower of winter. Keep it carefully in your rucksack. You'll know when you need it.
Do I? With the rucksack. Rucksack is such a good name. I mean, the English version of rucksack is... It's always amazing when English speaking, when the English language is using originally German words, it always sounds amazing. The rucksack. Hey, gentlemen!
Fresh, clean water! Wonderful! Take this old oak branch as payment from me. It's quite a special
Taking a look at some of the Wasteland 2 videos from your channel.
That
really looks like a good game.
Head of all the tree guardians, and it can make
really classic style.
Special with its magical powers. This branch should always remind you of the power of trees.
It reminds me of the power of trees. Wow, she gave me a branch. Is she kidding me? When are your usual streaming times, by the way? I haven't taken... I think I read, but it was more like... Nah, I just start streaming. So I don't know. Ha! Good response. So, yeah. Like you see fit, okay. Which is, I can totally understand. I mean, I have streaming times when I usually plan to stream, but it never works out. So, you more often... Oh. But you're learning Godot, okay. So have you... Did you do a lot of projects in Godot, or is this really just your first, or... Because I remember back then when I first used Godot was really my... After creating engines on my own for a long time, Godot was actually my first engine I've used, and I was amazed by it because Godot really does a lot of things right and is so free that I have to love Godot. Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's... But you really, I mean, if you're into the engines, if you learn them, I mean, obviously writing your own engine is interesting too, but from a game perspective, if you want to create games, it really makes more sense to use an engine, except you really want to do something totally specific an engine can't provide you, or something which really needs the power of an own engine. Godot is really good. I mean, I guess the UI and debugger could need something. I don't know, how is it? I mean, you're using Godot 3 now. Is there a C# API now, and does it work good, or did they just push it back again? And is it, I don't know, last time I looked at it, it was more like you had to set up some specific things. I'm not against GDScript. I did a lot of stuff in GDScript, but I mean, there is some stuff I really rather like to do in C#. I mean, I guess it would be more like some whatever game logic or whatnot I would even do in GDScript, since GDScript isn't really a bad scripting language, but there's some complex stuff back then when I did my dungeon grinder and I ported it to several engines where GDScript was just... It just wasn't... I mean, GDScript is a scripting language. I mean, while everything is possible in it, it's really not made to do some really... Stuff like procedural generation of shit. It is possible, I did it with GDScript, but it really gets confusing after a while. Okay. I mean, I remember, yeah, I mean, the intelligence, the lack of intelligence, or the not so great intelligence. I mean, intelligence is there, but it's really... Ah, okay, so it's still lacking whatever I want. I remember even back then I created a testing environment so I could run unit tests in GDScript. Back then, because, yeah. So I'd say, I mean, Godot, I mean, it is essentially, it's still created by two guys, isn't it? It is amazing. It's just, I mean, yeah, I mean, I won't stay quiet about some of the issues of Godot, but... Actually, I think the lack of proper C# debugging and some IDE issues are probably the main reasons why I stick to Unity, because I mean, Unity obviously has its issues too, but the component system is... yeah. Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of stuff with GDScript. I mean, it is certainly quite possible to do a lot of stuff in GDScript, but yeah. When you get to some inner crazy logic, then it's just... I think C# is... I think the main reason is C# actually, because I mean I can... Debugging would be the second one. I mean, maybe debugging is the primary reason. I just can't. Because I always found it very frustrating when setting breakpoints in Godot and wasn't able to just see anything there. Oh. Isn't screen space the default one in Godot? I remember I never had any HUD issues in Godot back then. But it has been some time. I actually should... Actually, it's a good idea to do something in Godot again, because... Yeah, like I said, I always liked Godot. Godot is cool. And essentially the I don't care mentality, because it's totally royalty free.
It's teeming with goblins and wild mantises everywhere you look.
Something which totally
Don't forget
plays
that
with
I
me.
told you about the fairy gold and the golden lights.
Oh, what the fuck? My disk is full again. Oh, who the fuck? Someone uses up a lot of disk space here. Wait a sec, I have to... do some shit here, since somehow my terabyte SSD is full. And my logic is going nuts here. My bot now, because it can't write into the database. What? Ah, I see now what's happening. Obviously I was opening a Visual Studio script for a Visual Studio project for several hours now, and it seems to eat up my disk space. Amazing. Just to know where to look for it. Of course, now I basically can't read anything, because 34 gigabytes in the trash can. So wow. Okay. I would rather think about whether it's really just something you don't understand with the engine, because most of the time it's just their approach is a bit differently and it makes sense to just go with their style if you understand it. I mean, I know of these problems, but because the problem is when you waste your time twiddling with the engine, you can't create a game. It's almost like I mean, I know of the merits to create the shit yourself, of course. And I like to do it even myself here and there. Will the chat please start now again? Pretty sure. Yeah, I have a lot of free disk space now. Wait a sec, I'm back in a sec. I just have to restart OBS because OBS bugs out when it has web issues.